Right, so hello everyone and welcome back to a Southern Biker video, and today I'm becoming a spicy 110 clone because I'm going to ride my bike and talk about something to you all. So basically what I want to talk about today is getting test rides on motorcycles, because I'm sure that's a really interesting topic. But I wanted to talk about it and I need to make a video about something, so here we are. So basically, for those of you who haven't watched my channel before, I passed my A2, well, literally it's coming up to a year ago, and then I obviously, as soon as I passed, I wanted to start test riding stuff because I wasn't set on what I wanted for my A2 bike. I knew I was teetering over between something like this, like a street bike or a adventure bike, because anything with like full fairing, you know, any sports bikes was going to be absolutely ridiculous to insure. For example, this third party fire and theft minus the Black Widow should have been $1,000 a year. The CBR 500R, same engine, probably very similar components, same dash and everything, just obviously it's a sports bike, was like an extra $1,000 more. Obviously, you know, a sports bike is more likely to get crashed because of the way people ride them and stuff, but you know, that basically wrote the sports bikes off for me. But anyway, getting back to the test ride. So yeah, I didn't know what I wanted, so I was going out to test ride things. And what did I want to test ride? I wanted to test ride one of these. I wanted to test ride a Z400, a 390 Adventure, a 500X. Was there anything else? An MT-03, which I did end up doing, but that was like way after I already got this bike. What else did I want to test ride? Was there anything? Oh, and the 310s from BMW. The God, what is it? The 310R and the 310GS? I actually forget what they're called. I know one of them's a 310S, but I think the street bike is what, the 310R? Yeah, those were the bikes I wanted to test ride, because Suzuki didn't do anything that was A2 out of the box. Triumph didn't at the time. Oh, actually no, they were literally about to release the 400 Scramblers, but I decided no, it was probably going to be too much to buy outright. I mean, they're cheap to be fair, but too much outright, and then the insurance could be crazy because it's new. Could be wrong, but obviously I couldn't do a quote for them at the time because they weren't out. Anyway, so in fact, I think the same day or the day after I went and passed my A2, I went to my local Honda dealership and asked if I could test ride, I think it was actually a 500R, simply because I wanted to just have a go on one. And then, you know, maybe if it was that enticing, I would have gone for it with the insurance. But yeah, it was that, and I think I may have asked about this bike as well, the 500F, and they simply said you need to have your license for a whole year, and this will become a common theme. So yeah, they said they had to have a license for a whole year, so that wrote anything off with that dealership. What's closest to me next? We'll go with Yamaha, even though I didn't go to the local one. I went to one in Malden just because I prefer it there. They said you have to be 21 to test ride anything, and I think at a certain point with Yamaha, if you don't meet a certain criteria, someone has to come out with you for the test ride. So that was fun. It's 40 down there, so that didn't allow me to ride anything from Yamaha. Then what happened next? So, oh, BMW was licensed for a year, 21, and someone has to come out with you, I believe. This was all about a year ago, so I may be getting some small details wrong. I just want to point out, I did look on the websites when I tried to do this, and it's really hard to find anything about like terms and conditions to test rides. So if you are just passing your A2, or perhaps even if you've just passed your A and you haven't had a previous license, don't be surprised if you ask to test ride something and they say you haven't had your license for a year, so we can't. Admittedly, I do believe from what they were telling me, this isn't actually the dealer's choice. It's more that their insurance won't cover them for it. And going on to that, we'll go to KTM, because I rode a 500F that day, and then I was heading to a KTM dealer after to ask if I could test ride a 390 Adventure next week. because my mates who had recently just picked up a 1290 Super Duke said it will come up with me, so keep an eye on me. I went in there and they basically went, how old are you? What was I at the time? I was 20. They said, how long have you had your license for? I went, about 2 months at this point. And they sort of looked and were like, okay, take it out now if you want. And I was like, really? Are you sure? And basically they admitted to me that they're not really meant to, because I haven't had my license for a year. But then they went, how long have you had a car license for? And I went, 2.5 years. And they went, yeah, go on then. So having a car license might help, and I'm not going to name this dealership because I don't want to get them into trouble. I don't know if they will or not. I don't think anyone really gives that much of a toss. But yeah, super friendly. So obviously each dealer is different. As you heard a minute ago, I said I rode a 500F. So this was at a Colchester Honda dealer. They had a slightly older one of these, and I wanted to test ride it because it was starting to look quite appealing. Although it was actually more than this, older with with more miles. So yeah, I stand by the fact that this bike was very, oh fucking hell. Alright boss, please have nothing coming the other way. Fucking hell, cheeky. Where was I? Yeah, so they actually, what I said I wanted to test ride was it was the old one I wanted to test ride. And when I rocked up there and said, they asked if I was looking to buy it there and then, I basically said, no, I'm gathering ideas at the moment and I need to wait for my insurance to renew, my 125, because basically I was just going to wait for the quote my 125 to end and then insure the new bike. So they then put me on a brand new one instead. Why is this mic peaking? Is it dropping slightly? I do apologise if it is. So then I ended up test riding a new one, but their policy was the guy had to come up with me. So each dealer is different. So my local Honda said you have to have a license for a year. Yamaha, I believe, was you have to... Actually no, I think Yamaha was 21. I can't remember them saying anything about a license for a year. And I know I did read somewhere on the Yamaha website there was assisted test ride, but I can't remember what the deals are like. If I find anything, I'll put it on the screen. So yeah, and then BMW, I believe, from what I remember, was the most strict. It was 21, license for a year, and someone comes out with you. And then KTM were just like, go on then, you've had a car license for 2.5 years. So I was like, alright, cheers boss. So yeah, and then the reason I ended up test riding MT-03 was this year. And that was because they were doing an event and I was 21, so they let me have a go on it, and I had my license for like over half a year, so I think maybe because it was an event as well that helped. So yeah, I got to test ride that the MT-03. Did I test ride it? I didn't test ride anything else, did I? No, I did not. I believe I asked Kawasaki for a Z400 and they basically said the same thing, like, oh, your age doesn't meet the requirements. So basically, public service announcement: if you haven't had your license for a full year or you're under the age of 21, your likelihood is you're either going to be told you can't test ride anything, or you're going to have to go with someone. Obviously none of these were second-hand dealers, these were all like main dealers. I don't know about second-hand dealers. I mean, oh sorry, second-hand dealers might not even allow you to test ride anything. I could be wrong. I've heard or seen some people mention online that some second-hand dealers can't get the insurance for it, especially if they're smaller. I mean, we all know insurance is crazy at the moment, let's not even get into that. So yeah, and this brings me on to another question actually. When I get my A license, do I have to wait a year as well, because technically it's a new license, or will they accept the fact that I've ridden around on an A2 for 2 years and I had a 125 for a year? So in essence I have 3 years riding experience. Or will they go, no, you've only just got your A license, you need that for a year? So we shall see. Oh yeah, give way to the right, Tommy. Bloody hell, I nearly just got myself killed. This is the dangers of riding while talking, people. This is the dangers that they don't tell you about motovlogging. If you're me, you get very easily distracted. That's my fault, that's my fault. Anyway, I'm rambling on. This was a short little video. I'm going to be completely honest, I have no idea what to upload at the moment, because obviously it's getting later. Most of the bike meets, by the time you get there, it's dark now, and I'm usually working. And most of the bike meets I go to are ones I've already done a video on this year. So I will think of some stuff. Hopefully next year things will pick up again. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.